Sign your name and sit down. I don't think I'm one of those.
Slide over a little, Ben. You got a couple of inches you can slide over. You got a couple of inches.
Comfy.
That's it. That's it. Because I got no room. Okay. The Loyola Ramblers, the tournament champions, are here. Everyone but Sister Jean, actually. But the same format, we're going to have the same format. We're going to have an opening statement from Coach Porter Mosier, who I will repeat. We have more people in here now. Becomes the second person in MVC history to win this tournament, both as a player and as a coach. The first one was Chris Lowry at SIU. He did it both times there. Porter did it with Creighton as a student athlete and now as a head coach here at Loyola. We're going to ask him to make a statement, then we'll have questions for just the student athletes up here. And the first one says, this is for all the players, gets ejected. So, yeah, pick a couple of guys and get a response. We'll go from there. And then we'll keep Porter here for a little while longer. So, Porter, please.
First, I just want to thank God for all the gifts he's given our program, our university. He's given us so much, and I've said the word God has a plan about a million times the last 10 years. But I'm blessed to coach this group and the remaining guys in our locker room. It's a special group of how much they invested, and they did it the right way. The character off the floor with this group, the true essence of student athletes in the classroom. I feel so proud that we did it the right way. But with guys at this high character, I'm so happy for them that this will connect them the rest of their lives, and they have put an impact on a university that will last the rest of their lives.
Questions for the student athletes of Loyola? Right back there, we'll start. Number 2 is here, Todd.
For the seniors to go out on this note, you're going to the NCAA tournament first time in 33 years. How's it feel?
Ben, you're first.
I mean, this is what we've been dreaming about. That's what we've been talking about. We knew we had a lot of potential, a lot of pieces this year, and we knew that it was going to take defense. And tonight, I think they said we finished 30. That we let up 31% from the field, and that was something we talked about earlier this year, going into the preseason. Was how are we going to be different from last year? We had a good offense last year, but we needed to be able to get stops and be a top defensive team to win a championship, and to go from there and everyone have a buy-in and improve in that aspect. It's crazy. It's so special, and we have such a special group of guys. We're so close, and I wouldn't want to share this with anybody else.
Just going off what Ben said, obviously, it's a unreal feeling. All year this team has been bought in, all of us. Coach has been preaching, since I stepped foot on campus in that locker room that, the top 3 teams in defense in the conference are always the top 3 teams in the conference. So, that was our focus, defense. That's what wins championships. And, we've tried to do a great job with that all the year. And, that's why we got a lot of wins. So.
Right there, Todd.
As for Ben and Dante, just teams usually take on the personality of their coach. What's the most important thing you've learned from Porter Moser in your careers?
Dante, you're first this time.
I mean, it's hard to really, pick out one thing that I've taken from Coach. I've taken so much from Coach. He's helped me, with preparing for my shot. That's when I had the big jump from my sophomore to junior year in percentages. I've just soaked in, so much. There's 100 things. We got a wall of culture in there on the wall that I had never seen in my life when I walked in before, in high school. I never seen nothing like that. So, I can't really pick out one thing that I've taken from him. His leadership every day, he brings it, his energy, the same way everybody sees him on the court. He's like that on practice every single day. So, like I said, I've taken a lot from him, and I can't really pick out one thing right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I definitely would take away, and what I saw and what my mom saw when he was recruiting me was, the energy and the passion that he has. He always says like he's gonna bring his best every practice every day, and that's what he does. He challenges us to get, because he knows that we want to be the best we can be, and for that to happen, he's got to challenge us. And that's what he does. Like he brings it every day, and that's why we've gotten so much better, because we have an off day in practice. He doesn't let it slide. It's not about who's right. He always says that. It's about getting it right. And if we're having a down day, like he's going to challenge us and make us, fix it, make us get it right. And that's definitely what I'll take away. His energy and just bringing it every day, and that's why we are here, like where we are.
Clayton, Marcus, both of you transferred from different programs to come over to Loyola. When you both decided to leave your previous schools, did you ever think you would eventually be in a situation as good as where you're at right now?
Marcus, you're first, please.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the NCAA tournament with my other school, but, ever since they started recruiting me, when I came to the school, everything was just so family-oriented. Even when I was on my official visit and I was downstairs with everybody with Porter, I still remember this to this day. I don't know if coaches remember, but I was with the guys in the living room, and he was just like, wow, like I didn't even notice you. I felt like you was part of the team. And that really hit me home. I just felt like this would be a special group. Me sitting out last year, I knew the guys wanted to get to the NCAA tournament last year, but it didn't happen. They fell short. But I told Coach I was going to do everything I can to, try to get these guys back there. And I'm just so proud of these guys. We worked so hard in the summertime. We pushed everything together, and I just love these guys so much.
Boy.
Yeah, I mean, when I, it's obviously a scary thing to transfer. It's a super scary situation. It's a low point because there's so much unknown, and I feel like I couldn't have came to a place that would have welcomed me more than they did here. Like Marcus said, I mean, they welcome us in with open arms, and the whole coaching staff is there for us. I mean, even more so, like even off the court stuff with school, I feel like I can text them about anything in my life or anything. And the same thing he said, or that Ben said, I just remember just seeing Coach's passion, and like you can just see it in his eyes how much he cares about this. And it's amazing to see that every single day. There's not one day that he doesn't show up. And I just believed in him. I believed in everything he was doing. Obviously, Ben had a big part in it too, just because I grew up with him, and that was a comfort level there. But I 100% believe that we could get to this point when I decided to come here. I'm just so happy that it's gotten to this point.
Question in the back.
This is for Lucas and Ben. Lucas Porter's talked about how you've been Ben's protege all season. So what's that like? And then Ben, what's it like having him step up like he did today?
Lucas, start us off, please.
Pretty much since the beginning of the season, Coach was just telling me, like, learn from Ben, and I've just, soaked up my role and really just learned everything that I could from Ben, like a sponge. And, you can't really go wrong the way he plays, with passion and especially on the defensive end, winning Defensive Player of the Year and all of that. I couldn't have asked for a better role model this year.
Damn, my son's making me so proud over there. Yeah, no, last spring we had one spot left open, and I wasn't there that weekend. We had an open gym, and they said they brought this kid in, and one of our assistants, London, was telling me, he's like, yeah, he reminds me a lot of you, but he's more athletic. And I was like, okay. And every time, ever since this guy stepped on campus, I've seen him seen so much in him. He's a dog, and he has that same intensity that I like to play with, and I just relate with that so much, and I see so much in his situation. I see so much. It's so alike how I was freshman year. You know, we had some injuries, and I had to step into a role, and he kind of fell into the same situation, and so I just tried to provide him with, you know, any kind of motivation, any kind of little tips here and there just to help him ease it into it, you know, and be successful. And, you know, he I don't even think he needs it, but, you know, I was just happy to give him any kind of pointers I could, and he, you know, he's going to be a force in this league, I can tell you that much.
Question right here.
I'll go with you again, Ben. Just in kind of a bigger picture, what do you think this means for the program and just fandom of Loyola in the city?
Yeah, I mean, we always knew that there's such great tradition at Loyola, and Coach would always, you know, bring in the 63 team, and we would always interact with them because they're such an inspiration to us, and you know, because he always wants us to be around, you know, successful people, and he talks about successful people all the time, studies them, and tries to help us learn from them. And so we knew, you know, there was a lot of tradition, and we knew that we could restore that if we won games and played the right way. And you know, it's really special. You know, we're in Chicago. It's a hub of, there's so much going on, and we, you know, if we win games, we get some attention and we get some love. Then we know the sky's the limit. And then, you know, the community at Loyola is awesome. It's given me so much, and I'm just so happy to give back to it because I've met so many unbelievable people, and I know I'll have a lot of relationships that'll last the rest of my life that I really cherish from Loyola. And so it feels really good to give back to it, and we have so many people that are proud of us, and it's really special.
Question in the back.
This is for the guys from Chicago. You all watched Northwestern kind of get all of the city's attention last year in the tournament. Do you guys think that you're going to get the same thing from the city this year?
Who's from Chicago? Dante, right?
Normally you like Dante or Lucas first. I was putting. Well, obviously, you know, I've said this all year to different guys in the media. We have the utmost respect for Northwestern, DePaul, all those Chicago schools. You know, they had their success last year, and you know, we were all happy for them. We rooted for them. I got friends on the team that I talk to a lot, and you know, we all support each other. So you know, it's not like, oh, we getting the glory now. It's our time. You know, we don't look at it like that. You know, we support each other, and you know, obviously now, you know, we're having success, and you know, it means a lot for the city of Chicago. You know, we just want to keep that going. I'm just proud that, you know, this last 4 years I've been a part of something that's, you know, it's came up, and you know, I've been here with Ben and Coach for 4 years. That, you know, you dream of times like this. You know, it's been a goal of ours for a long time, and to make it come true, it just feels unreal. Lucas.
You know, Chicago being where I'm from, you know, it feels good to you know, represent the city on that level of a stage. You know, I watched Northwestern in the tournament last year, and there was so much buzz even at my school just talking about Northwestern, and you know, I hope that that's what it is like us. But you know, all respect to Northwestern, and I'm just happy that, you know, we're able to represent Loyola and Chicago in the tournament this year.
Lucas, keeping on the Chicago theme, I mean, when you were even a younger kid than you are now, but was Loyola basketball something that even registered, you know, for you when you were, you know, a younger basketball player? And how do you see how it's changed now with what the program has done?
Actually, it wasn't, to be honest with you. When I was younger, you know, I wasn't really tuned in to college basketball. Really, I would just watch the tournament, and that would really be it. But now that I'm coming of age and in high school, watching the tournament and stuff like that, it's even a scary thought to even think of it right now that, you know, we're going to actually be on that stage, and we're actually going to be one of the teams that's going to be playing and competing for the championship. And it even gives me chills right now, even just thinking about it.
Anything else for the student athletes? Yes, we're going to follow up there, and then we have a question here.
Dante, what was the appeal for you on coming to Loyola at a time when the program hadn't done anything like this?
I mean, just buying in to what Coach, had been talking to me about. I like the system. I seen you got to see yourself fitting in the system, and seeing yourself, part of the vision and the future. So I felt bought into that. I felt like I fit in great. Obviously you had other Chicago guys like Milton Doyle, who was a part of me coming here as well. That I see myself playing with. Like I said, I seen myself fit, and I believed, coming in with guys like Ben, who's been with me all 4 years, that we can turn things around and we could be a part of something special, and that's what we've done.
Ben, I think I caught the little bit of the end of this on the court where you were saying you were kind of saying you wanted to get back in the game, or were people trying to tell you just stay out or stay in the locker room, get treatment? I mean, what happened there?
Yeah. Well, I've had some on and off injuries, banged up over the years, just like anybody else. But Coach always he's more cognizant. As I've gotten older, in practice and stuff, he's like, well, you don't need to go in. You don't need to be a hero. No one needs to be a hero out here. Because he's looking out for me. Because he's got to protect me sometimes. Because sometimes I'll just go in and so Corey was our athletic trainer was like, well, you're good to go in, but just take it easy. And I was like I'm going in. And so I was tugging at Coach Mullins' jacket. It was getting down to 1.5 minutes, and I was like I gotta go back in. I gotta give me in. So then I just went to. He said, all right. So I went to the scoring table, and before I was on my way, he stopped me, and he was like, you sure? And I was like, yes, I'm going in the game. So I mean, I think they all knew I wanted to be in there really bad, and because after everything we've been through, me and Dante, all these guys, we've gone through everything. I would have done anything to be back on the court just to finish that out, and yeah.
At this point, we're going to dismiss the student athletes so they can get something to eat, and we'll stay with Coach Porter Mosier a while longer. Gentlemen, congratulations. Good luck in the NCAA tournament.
Thanks.
Go enjoy your teammates, boys. It's lonely now.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just you and me now. So, questions for Coach? Let's take these two right here and then in the back. Go ahead.
I know stopping the three-point production was a big key for you guys coming into the game, and they shot 4 of 20 or something like that from three. How were you guys able to be effective in that?
Well, Chief, what you emphasized, we knew that they really shot it well the first two games. They were in double digits, 3-point makes the first 2 times we played them. And we know the level of shooters they have. And we were wanting to close out way better than we did. We always talk about what can we do better than we did the first time. And that's what I love about these guys. I mean, they're bought in so much. We beat Illinois State before. No, we have a ton of respect for them. What do we have to do better? We can't stay the same. And guarding the 3-point line was one of them. And they get their threes in a number of ways. They get them in transition. They get them on inside-out passes with how good Yarborough can pass. And they get them on ball screens with how good Keyshawn can skip it out of that. And we were really trying to close out and really key in on those areas of where they get those threes.
Just like I asked the players, in the big picture, what do you hope this does and means for the program and just, I guess, the notoriety or just fandom for you guys?
I think it means a ton. I remember getting the job, and I was telling friends and family, I'm like, I'm a Catholic kid from Chicago. How cool would it be for Loyola to go to the NCAA tournament? And some were looking at me like I was nuts. And it means a lot to see the amount of students that made the trip. To see, you want that in a college. I kept on talking to the students when I go to all these speaking things with the students. I'm like, you want this as a part of your experience. And I just hope that it starts a trajectory of traditions and cultures where there's so much spirit. There was so much Loyola spirit here this weekend in St. Louis, more than I've ever seen. And that is just hopefully the beginning. And I think when you have a watershed team like that, a watershed moment being this weekend and this season, you hope it goes in a direction of that it changes. And these guys, I believe, they made an impact on this university that will last, hopefully forever. But I hope people look at Chicago with that kind of enthusiasm, or Loyola Chicago with that kind of enthusiasm and passion.
In the back.
Coach, I have a feeling you knew I was going to ask this. What would Coach Majerus be saying right now with you winning the conference tournament in St. Louis?
He wanted to know if I was going home tonight so we could go to the Hill and eat dinner. No, I mean, he obviously had such a huge impact on my life. He reinforced of how to do things the right way. He was, he was so much about doing it the right way with good kids. And as you can see in the last 15 minutes, just listening to how these kids speak to each other, how well-spoken they are, how they care about each other. They're just a high-character group, and that means a lot to me to do this the right way. And that's what he'd say to me. He goes, these kids play smart, and tough. He loved that, and very, very blessed, and I've thought about him a lot while I'm here.
Yep, right here.
Coach, this is your 14th season as a Division I head coach in college basketball. Can you basically sum up what the journey has been like for you to get to this moment to earn your first NCAA tournament bid?
It's I've taken over 3 programs that at the time I took them over, they were down, and that rebuild is tough. And it's tough to rebuild it and change. And when I took this one on, then all of a sudden we went to the Missouri Valley. Although in my mind, I knew we were going to take a step back, but I also knew how great a league this is and how it resonates with recruits, how it's going to resonate with our fan base, and it has. So I guess the satisfaction, one, I'm blessed that the fan base and the university at Loyola stayed steadfast in their vision. They were 100% about doing it with great student athletes. They didn't want to bend on that and type of kids, and that was right up my alley. And so I'm blessed because it's a fact. It's just a lot of times patience isn't the biggest quality with fan bases and with everything. And when you're trying to turn a program around, it's not like I inherited a couple programs that were, first place. And so I guess anytime you invest so much and you don't have easy sailing, and I haven't, it makes it so rewarding to sit with a group like this and to be in a league like this and to win it. And I was asked out there a couple different times, what did you like better, as a player or a coach? And I said 100% a player. And that's why I'm so happy for these guys, because they connected. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 of my Creighton teammates all drove from all areas to be out here. And you're connected. It connects you the rest of your life. And so I'm happy for these guys. For me, I'm so excited, but for where we're going, where the program's going. But if you really ask me why I'm excited, it's because of the group in the locker room and just the moments we're sharing right now. It's been special.
Porter teams usually take the personality of their coach. Does that mean when you were at Creighton, you were a defensive guy that was tough and could play multiple positions?
No. I couldn't play with the hand check rules they have now implemented, as Doug's laughing and watched me guard and hold. No, but my coach, Tony Baroni, for you Valley people that knows, high energy, passionate, and he was my first mentor. I played for him 4 years, and he got me into the coaching profession. I worked 6 years with him, and I saw how he brought it every day at practice, every day, and that's where I was as a player. And And I've taken really good things from different people along the way. I've been lucky. I've had some really good mentors. But it was great to hear him talk a little about that, because you just don't really get in those conversations like, hey, Clay, what'd you learn from me? It was fun to hear those guys talk about energy and passion, because in life you got to have it. I mean, you can't go into something and turn it if you don't.
We have a follow-up, and in the back, and then right here in the second row. Go, Todd.
And what do you think today's wins will do for scarf sales in Loyola?
I tell you, that's really taken on. I mean, at least you know where the Loyola fans are, right? You can see the maroon and gold.
Coach, you mentioned watershed moments. How do you think this team stacks up with the other moments in program history, like 63 and 85 teams?
You know, obviously, the 63 team, there's no, you can't, I mean, that is the ultimate change when you talk about integration. So that is, I think, stands alone as so much. But as I hugged Jerry Harkness on the stage, I said this to him my first year here. We were blessed first or second year get to go to the White House. And I told all those guys how much the past is part of our future, how high character those guys are. Anybody in here who's just spent time with Jerry Harkness, he's a high character guy. And the 85 team, they've been around. I mean, Al Frederick Hughes called me 2 weeks ago just to say how excited he is that people are talking Ramblers again. So, I mean, those are huge moments. Our team is going to be in the conversation because it's been so long. You know, I think every one of them were watershed moments. I mean, you start talking about a Sweet 16 team and what they did, but I mean, the 63 team, that goes way beyond basketball. You're talking about integration. You're talking about what that game of change meant. So I don't think there's very many things in our profession that stand alone like that 63 team.
With Dante, what did you see in him in high school, and what's his progression been like through the years?
I saw him as that mismatch guy. I like mismatch guys. He's 6'6", he can play the 4, he can play the 3, he's brought it up. He's played some point when Clayton was out. I like guys that can shoot it, space it. He can switch 1 through 4 ball screens, but I love that mismatch guy, that he's a tough matchup. And his progression is just, every year he's gotten better. I think there's 2 years in his career he could have got most improved. You know, he's just a high character kid that works really hard, has a lot of pride. But, you know, I think that I like in our system getting mismatch guys, especially that can shoot it. I mean, he's a 6'6" kid, a lefty that can shoot it. And and he's a winner. I love that he was a winner. I mean, I remember saying, you know, here's a kid from the Simeon program, a Chicago kid. I mean, you know this, Shannon, because you've followed us. We literally, before Milton Doyle, it was 13 years or so without a Chicago Public League player. We were Loyola of Chicago when I got the job, and there was one Illinois kid on our roster. That's just nuts. And Dante's, you know, a winner. It's about winning for him. And so saw a lot of things in him.
In the rebuilding process, to get to where you are right now, can you look at a moment that changed things, that put you in this direction, that whether a recruit or a game or something that was this where it begins?
Well, I think Milton Doyle had a high reputation. He was a high-level kid. And when Milton, like I said, we hadn't had a Chicago kid for so long. When Milton said, I'm going to Loyola, I was like, okay. And then he was freshman of the year in the Valley. And, you know, Milton had a huge foundation, you know, like Dante mentioned. You know, Milton Doyle's there. You know, when you start to get someone from Chicago like that, you know, I remember asking our guys when Dante and Ben's freshman year, and they said, we were invited to go to the CBI tournament. And I sat them down, and I said, if we do this, what do you want out of it? And they said, well, we're in it. We're going to win it. We want to win it. And I remember being at St. Louis. If you saw the trajectory that happened with Coach Majerus, we got in that CBI championship. And we actually lost to Shaka Smart in the finals. But I always remember that going, and saw that taste of it, what it did with the guys at St. Louis. And, you know, Ben, and they got a taste of it, and we won it. And I knew they wanted more. And that's what was the benefit of playing in postseason. They wanted more. They got a taste of it. And, you know, I think that's, So there's a moment, you start those guys, and you saw the trajectory of, I think it's like 80, I think it's 85 games in 4 years. So these guys are getting close to averaging, 21, 22 victories in 4 years for a program that had like 3 wins in 30 years, or 3 winning seasons.
Jim?
Porter, 8 days ago, when you guys played Illinois State in Chicago, it came down to the last minute of the game. What allowed you guys to really get separation tonight and not let it get there?
We got off to a hot start. I think we made some shots, and our guys were. You could just see sometimes in a setting like this, to get some things going early, your momentum can build. And luckily for us, it was building defensively. And I just think when there's in a setting like this, when the stakes are high, if you're able to make a couple shots early, I mean, you just saw the whole confidence level for our group change, and that's what I think kind of snowballed with us, their confidence when we knocked down a couple shots early.
Final question right here.
Ooh, it's the final question, which makes me very self-conscious. When you got the job at Loyola, did you, or when you're interviewing for it, did you have to say, here's a 4-year plan, 5-year plan to turn it around, or did they?
Well, the plan was all about just doing it the right way. Building it, I said it a lot. You can build a team quickly. To build a program that will stand, it's got to be a foundation. With the kind of character kids, the academics. There's no bending in either one of those two in our recruiting blueprint. So there really wasn't a timeline on it. It was just steadfast on how we were going to do it. This is how we were going to do it, and so that was. I honest to God, my wife, my kids, my friends, my family, I've said it so many times. How cool would it be being a Catholic kid from Chicago to take Loyola to the NCAA tournament? I'm just so blessed that God had this plan for me, because it's really cool. Thank you, guys.
Porter, thank you and good luck.